Hey guys, so in this video, I just wanted to explain in brief what is generative AI and where does it fit in the whole AI ecosystem, right? So yeah, as you can see in the image, right, the artificial intelligence is a big ocean that has different layers. Machine learning, deep learning, generative artificial intelligence, large language models, generative pre-trained transformers, GPT-4 and ChatGPT, okay? So under artificial intelligence, you will see the next layer that is machine learning. That's how basically computers understand the language in a numerical format, zeros and ones. We all know that. And then under machine learning, you see deep learning. That is where the neural networks come into the picture, right? And under deep learning, we have generative artificial intelligence, right? The Why the name generative? Because they generate something new, new data. It can be um, audio, video, and all that. And under generative artificial intelligence, Gen AI, we have large language models. So large language models are the heart and soul of these generative artificial intelligence systems. And under large language models, we saw GPT, as you can see here, right? The GPT, it's official. It's a family of AI models built by OpenAI. And we all know GPT-4 and ChatGPT. We all use ChatGPT. So this is a simple breakdown of where generative artificial intelligence, generative AI fit in this whole AI ecosystem. So since large language models are the heart and soul of these generative artificial intelligence systems, it's very important to understand what are large language models, right? So let's understand in a step-by-step manner why the name large language models, right? Large because they are trained with large amounts of data set from various sources, right? Can be Wikipedia pages, YouTube videos, anything you find on the internet, right? That all that content, the data is used to train these models. And the next word is language. Language means that's how you can interact with these models. Can be natural language, right? English, Spanish, French, etc. And then models, it's kind of an architecture. That's why they are known as models. So I'm going to talk about the architecture that is the transformer architecture. So that's why the name large language models. Hope you understood the meaning, the literal meaning of large language models. These are trained with large amounts of data around the globe. And yeah, we have a base model that is transformer. That's why they are known as pre-trained transformer, right? GPT, the full form of GPT is basically generative pre-trained transformer. So it's a family of model from OpenAI. And generative means these models generate something new. Pre-trained means they are already trained on certain amount of data from the internet. And transformer is basically what you see here, this part. It's a base model, okay? And I'm going to explain why this base model, the transformer model, actually came into existence. So let's take a scenario, right? Open your message application on your phone, start typing hi, and then start feeding that with the next random word that it suggests, right? So when you actually want to make a sentence out of it with a proper context, it doesn't make any sense. As you can see here, right, in this, what it's written, I will have been today, but the coffee makes sense when dreams fly purple on a sleet time. So there is no semantic coherence between the words and there is no context because this system doesn't understand what happened previously and what word I should predict next. So it loses that self-attention mechanism. And that is when in 2017, the researchers from Google came up with the famous research paper known as Attention is All You Need. So if you see what they suggested, right? They proposed a new simple network architecture, the transformer-based architecture on attention mechanism, right? So this is what they basically proposed, an encoder and decoder architecture that has more that can have more context, and then that has more self-attention mechanism. I will not go in the technical details of the transformer architecture, but you just understand that the previous models did not have any self-attention mechanism, that they didn't know what happened previously, the word, and then they just had the feed forward mechanism. That's it. They just started randomly coming up with the words. But with the transformer architecture, this architecture had that self-attention mechanism and along with the feed forward thing. So it started having more context of what word I need to predict next. So this is about the transformer architecture, and that's what it is. It is used. This type of base model is used in the GPT models. See, this is how transformer model basically works. If you come up with a query like input, write a story, so it will basically predict the next word once, and it will take that output as input again to predict the next word. Write a story once upon a time. So that's how it has more self-attention mechanism and more context. So let's see um, the let's compare that with the neural network that I took example, right? The message application on your phone, it just has the neural network. I don't know even if that has neural network. That neural networks just do the feed forward, right? If you say hello, how are you? It just after that it just starts recommending or suggesting some random words. But with the transformer architecture that you see right here, uh, it will start predicting the next word accurately with more context. Okay, and we all know with the introduction of ChatGPT, the so-called generative AI started to become a reality for the whole world. Everybody started using the models from OpenAI, the GPT, DALL-E, and Codex. GPT basically for human-like language generation, and DALL-E for realistic image generation, and Codex for advanced code generation. So that's how it became reality, and that's it about generative AI. And this was the first what you can say the revolution towards generative AI. Even the layman, I mean the common people started using ChatGPT to generate new content and all that. So here is the proper definition of generative AI or Gen AI. So it's a type of artificial intelligence system or technology that can produce various types of content, can be data, right? The text, image, audio, video, and even synthetic data. So yeah, I mean this is the definition, and we have come a long way. As you can see, this is the difference between the ML model and the Gen AI model. If you show a ML model, uh, the data with a label, the output is kind of label. If you show the image of a dog and written dog on it, and if you ask, is this dog? So the output is kind of dog with the image. So everything is predefined here. Whereas in the Gen AI model, it takes the unstructured content as an input. Again, taking example of a dog, and then the it basically learns the patterns in the unstructured content. And if you ask the Gen AI model to generate something new, some new content about dog, it can actually generate that. Can like for example, if you ask the Gen AI model, hey, write an essay about dog in 500 words, it can actually generate that. But what happens in predictive ML model, it basically learns the relationship between data and model. That's it. Everything is predefined. It just says the output is just label. It will not generate something new. So that's the main difference. And of course, we have come a long way from traditional programming to neural networks to Gen AI today. What used to happen before, developers used to hard code everything if they want to show cat or dog, right? Cat, the type is animal, legs, four, ears, two, fur, yes, and it likes, right? Yarn and catnip. and then the neural networks is where uh, there was data and the label, and like this is cat and this is not a cat. So that's how the information was fed to the machines to understand uh, what is what. And then if they show the image of a cat and if they ask, is this cat? And it used to predict, yes, this is cat. And that's it. Doesn't it 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 won't generate anything new like we discussed in the previous slide, right? So today we are here with the generative language models like Palm, GPT, Lambda, etc. So if you tell the model, go read this book, this huge pile of books, if you fed this as an input and then if you ask the query, so you have learned about cats and millions of other concepts about cat, what's a cat, and can you write an essay or a blog about cat? Basically the generative AI models can do that. They can write a complete article, proper article, um, along with images if you want, right? That's the power of generative AI models. And yeah, I mean, this is it about generative AI. I hope you understood the basics of generative AI and how it all started.